all about standard form of an equation. We've done slope-intercept. You guys did point-slope on Tuesday. Today is standard form. And this is what standard form looks like. AX plus BY equals C. It must be in this form. AX plus BY equals C. There are 3 rules. First one, X and Y are on the same side of the equation. It's X, Y equals number. If it's not X, Y equals number, it's not standard form. The X term is positive. So your X's are positive. Your Y's can be negative or positive, it doesn't matter. The C can be negative or positive, but the A, how many ever X's you have, must be positive X's. And the third rule, no fractions, which also means no decimals as well. No fractions, no decimals. Only integers. No fractions, no decimals. X's are positive. X, Y equals number. That's standard form. Yes, no fractions or decimals. All right. So 3 rules. Must look like this. If it doesn't look like that, it's not standard form. It's just an equation of a line, but not in standard form. Okay. So, take a moment. Yes or no, are those 6 equations in standard form? Do they meet the requirements? Take a minute. Yes or no. Are they standard form? Do it for each one. Okay, here we go. First one. Yes or no? Yes. Yes, this one is in standard form. Second one, yes or no? Yes, no. Okay. Third one, yes or no? No. Because of the fraction. Third one, so this one here, fourth one. So no, because of the fraction. What about the next one? This one's also a no. And that's because it's not X plus Y equals. This is actually what form of the equation is this?
It's
slope-intercept. And the last one here? No. Yeah, it has to be X, Y equals number. X's are positive, and no fractions or decimals. Okay. So, this next part is key towards your quiz. I find that standard forms of an equation are very easy to graph. They're actually easier to graph than any other type of equation, I think. Almost all the time, really easy to graph if they're in standard form. And what you need to do is you need to find the X and Y intercepts. Where does it cross the X-axis? Where does it cross the Y-axis? So to figure that out, it's really easy. Here's what you do. Take your finger. Everybody, take your finger. Put it over the X's. Cover up the X's. What do you have? 4y equals 24. So you do that. When you let x be 0, you get 4y equals 24. Solve that for y. Divide both sides by 4. Y equals 6. That is your y intercept. That's where the line crosses the y-axis. That's your y-intercept. Yeah, now take your finger, cover up the y's. What do you have if you cover up the y's? 3x equals 24. Solve for x. Divide by 3. X equals 8. This is your X intercept. This is where that graph crosses the x-axis. So you need to find your y-intercept. That's easy. Let your x be 0. Cover up the x with your finger. Literally, I told you guys to do that, right?
Yes.
That's exactly what I tell everybody to do. Cover up the x's with your finger. What do you have? Solve that for y. Cover up the y with your finger. Solve that for x. It gives you the x-intercept. This is where it crosses the y-axis. This is where it crosses the x-axis. If we were to graph this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I would have a dot at 6 on the y, and I would have a dot on 8 on the x, and my line goes through those 2 points. Very easy to graph. X-intercept, y-intercept, line through those 2 points. Oh, look! Graphing using the intercepts.
You already did that.
Same thing. Cover up the x's. Cover up x, you get what? Negative 2y equals negative 2. Watch your x's and y's carefully.
Wait, do you have to do the one?
No, you can do the x's first. Doesn't matter. Divide by negative 2. Y equals 1. That's my y-intercept. It's at 1. Find the x-intercept. And this one's really easy. Cover up the y's. What do you get? X equals negative 2. I don't even have to solve anything. It's already solved for me. Negative 2. Put a dot on negative 2 on the x. And what does my line do? It goes through those 2 points. I do think that this is, like I said, this is really one of the easiest ones to graph. It's really easy to graph. 1 point, one's on the x, one's on the y. 2 points, draw your line through them. Easy. This is your quiz. Okay, problem number 3. Graphing vertical and horizontal lines. Okay, these ones are a little counterintuitive. Which direction does the y-axis go? The y-axis is the one that goes up. And when I have a line that's y equals, that's a horizontal line. 1, 2, 3. So y equals 3. Every point on that line, y is 3. Every point on that line, y is 3. X changes. The x has changed depending upon what the y is 3 on every one of those points. So if y equals is horizontal, what do you think the x equals ones are going to be? Vertical. 1, 2, 3 on the x. X equals 3. And you just kind of have to remember which one's which. There's no real trick to remembering which one's which as far as I can figure out. You just got to remember y is this, x is this, which is the exact opposite of the axes. But every x coordinate, x is 3 for every single point on this line. The y's are different, but the x is always 3 on that point. Okay, this is probably the trickiest one to do here. It's not that hard. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the problem to give myself a little room to work. Y equals negative 3 over 7 plus 5. 3/7 x plus 5. Just make that a little nicer. Okay. I want to put it in standard form. My rules of standard form are x, y equals number, positive x, no fractions. First thing I do is get rid of my fractions. And it's easy. multiply everything by your denominator. What's my denominator in my only fraction I have? 7. I multiply everything times 7. The whole thing gets multiplied times 7. Why 7? Because that's my common denominator. If it was 2/3, I'd multiply everything times 3. If it was 5/8, I'd multiply everything times 8. 7's my denominator, that's why it's 7. So I do 7 times y, gives me 7y, equals 7 times -3/7 x. 7 times 3/7 is just 3. That's the thing. It gets rid of the denominator. Multiply a number times a fraction, the denominator of a fraction times that number, it gets rid of the denominator. I have -3x. And then I do 3 times 5, which is, 7 times 5, which is 35. So I've done my first thing, no fractions. Great. Now I need to move my x's so they're on the other side. Always moving my x's. Well, that's easy enough to do. Add 3x to both sides. This is where students, oh my God, 3x and 7y, isn't that 10xy? No. You cannot combine these two because they're not like terms. One's x's, one's y's. You can't combine them. So what do I have? 3x plus 7y equals, that canceled out, so I get 35. Is this in standard form? Yeah, because my x's are positive. X, y equals number. This is standard form. If this was negative, I would just multiply everything times -1 to change the sign. But this is positive. I'm done. That's my answer. Okay? Questions? Easy, right? Not that hard. Okay. Nice, easy for Friday before break.